So what is up with all the mind chatter? Have you noticed just an increase in worrisome thoughts, anxiety, that kind of just thing in the pit of your stomach where there might just be something wrong, but you're not quite sure what it is? Or you start having that sensation, so you start reading newspaper articles, going on the internet, going on Facebook, and before you know it, everything you see just exacerbates that feeling even more. There is some interesting stuff going on in the world, that is for sure. I'm Lauren Polly. I am a life coach, the author of The Other Side of Bipolar, and the creator of the 30 Days to a Quiet Mind program. This is something that I find so frequently with the people that I'm working with, and even with my own space these days. There just seems to be a lot of activity, and before you know it, you kind of get that wave of anxiety that may just kind of move on through, but because it has such a charge on it, and because there's so many different stories in the world right now that are, quite frankly, anxiety provoking, before you know it, you're awashed anew in that energy. What do? We end up carrying it. We end up personalizing it. We internalize it. We stick it inside of ourselves. We come up with a big story that goes with it. We take a news article we find and plug it on top of the feeling, and it becomes really hard to shake. It's kind of fascinating to look at this phenomenon. Most of us, we operate like this and we don't even realize we operate like this. And it's something where if you can bring consciousness to it and actually get really present and real with what's going on, things start to shift and change dramatically. First piece of consciousness around this is that you are aware. You're aware of yourself, you're aware of other people, you're aware of the environment, you're aware of this crazy world and society that we're living in currently. You're aware of the earth, which is going through a lot of change right now with all the disasters. Because you are aware and because you don't live in a bubble, you have a lot of sensation. You have sensation in your bodies. You have thought patterns that come and get activated. Those kind of niggling feelings that start to come and you can't quite figure out where they come from. All of that stuff is just your awareness. It's an awareness that is always present, I would say, probably always has been for you, but because you're never given the information piece that you are aware, what you do is you start to build up personal stories, trauma dramas, limitations, anxiety patterns that have it kind of like being there as a rationalization for why the feeling has to be there in the first place. Because it's not enough just to go, oh, I'm aware of an energy here. There's people around me that have a very busy head. My head's getting busy. Or, wow, that person just has this super dense, sad energy. So now I start to feel super dense and sad. We don't really look at things that way. We don't look at things from an observing standpoint of like, wow, I'm aware of all this noise in the world. What we do is we have that sensation, we have the feeling, so then we come up with a story to rationalize it, to be in our space in the first place. That's where that personal identification thing comes from. So before you know it, you buy it as yours, you lock it into your body and your mind, and you march forward. If you've been noticing that you've been having a little bit more body weirdness, your mind's been a little bit more chatty, you've had that kind of niggling thing in your gut that there's something a little wrong or off, if your anxiety has been upticking or you've had more mood fluctuations, I invite you to start opening your eyes to a different perspective. If it wasn't about you, if you weren't wrong, if it wasn't yours to begin with, if it was your awareness of the world as it is right now and the shift in consciousness that is occurring, what else would be possible? I know this might sound weird depending on your background. If you've heard of some of these consciousness tools before, I'm sure you're right in the flow of it. If not, I invite you to take a look at my Facebook page. It's Lauren Polly Coaching. I'll put the link above. It's got a lot of different tools and techniques and really perspective shifts that you can start to play with. Nothing is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with me. Nothing is wrong with any of us. We are just super connected, and no one tells us that. And when we're super connected, we have an awareness of each other. We have an awareness of the planet. We have an awareness of the consciousness of humanity. And when shit goes down, like it's doing right now, we have these things that start to go off in our own space. Without this knowledge base, without this information piece, you may be thinking there's something wrong with you. You may be buying things as yours and personalizing them and holding them a little bit. You don't have to. It's possible right now to be able to let it go and acknowledge that it's just your awareness of the environment. Yeah, it's pretty intense out there. I get it. Totally get it. But being able to not personalize it and carry it around will actually give you such a sense of freedom. Go on over to my Facebook page, enjoy perusing around, message me, connect with me, and we'll see you soon.